Hello everyone, welcome back to my additional maths channel. For today's video teaching, I will focus on one of the most challenging hot question from Negeri Sembilan. So I will try my best to explain the concept behind each of the paper 1 question. So I really hope that you will go through the video and try to understand the concept. So let's get started with the class right now. Have fun! question number 1, given that 5p plus 3q, p, 5p minus 3q, that is minus, not so clear, are 3 consecutive terms of a geometric progression. Express q in terms of p. So first thing, you should know you have 3 terms, 5p plus 3q, p, and 5p minus 3q, right? So the question say these are 3 consecutive terms and express q in terms of p. So for geometric progression, the concept is ratio must be the same, common ratio, right? So p over 5p plus 3q equal to 5p minus 3q over p. And then you just cross multiply. Okay, so this is a concept of the geometric progression whereby a common ratio must be the same. So that means if you find the ratio, you must take T2 over T1, okay, is equal to T3 over T2, right? So that is a concept that you must apply when you do question like this. So then you cross multiply. P times P is P squared. 5P plus 3Q times 5P minus 3Q. So this one you still remember how to simplify. Okay, you expand 5, 25, PP, P squared, 5P minus 3Q, you multiply negative 15PQ plus 15PQ minus 9Q squared. Alright, so now you need to simplify until according to the question, you must express your Q in terms of the P. So you must simplify until Q as a subject. That means 1Q stand at left hand side. Okay, so now we are going to shift 9Q square, go to the left, become positive. 9Q square and is equal to 24p square because like term, right? 25p square minus 1p square. So you will get 24p square. Right, so we still haven't reached yet. Q square is 24 over 9 p square, and then you need to square root the q, okay, because the question say q in terms of p, so you will have 24 over 9 p square. So this one you have to simplify further. Square root 24 is 4 times 6. Remember, square root 24 is 4 times 6 is surd. You know surd? S-U-R-D. For the Form 4 KSSM students, you should know surd. So the square root of the 4, you get 2. Square root of 6, you can't do anything. Square root of p square, you get p. Square root of 9, you get 3. So finally, this is the simplest answer. So all the answer must be simplest form so that you will qualify for full marks. Okay, so again I explain how to simplify square root 24. So you have to express 24 as a number that can be square root. Normally it's perfect square, which is 4, right? So 4 times 6, okay, that is the only perfect square, times 6 you get 24. Then you can square root the 4 and square root the 6 individually. So square root 4 you get 2, square root 6 you will get back square root 6 because you cannot simplify further. So that is the answer for question number 1. Okay, so we have solved the first question for the geometric progression. The answer is 2 square root 6 times p over 3. Okay, so let's go to another question. For this question is about quadratic equations. So given that both quadratic equation x squared plus bx plus q equal to 0 and 2x squared minus kx plus h equal to 0 have two equal roots, express h plus q in terms of p n of k. So let's see how to do this question. It looks like a bit challenging. So first of all, you highlight the important keywords. You have equal roots for both quadratic equation, right? So when you have equal roots, normally you have to use a discriminant b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. So now for both quadratic equation, you have to find the ABC first before you can express H plus Q in terms of P and of K. So we forget about the question first. Now we go to the quadratic equation. Based on the concept equal root, b squared minus 4ac, it must be equal to 0, right? Now we will go to the equation. We will choose a B, C. Okay, we will write down the ABC for the first quadratic equation. A is 1, B is P, C is Q. And then we will use b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. And we will substitute. So we will have p squared minus 4 times 1 times q equal to 0. Okay, and then we will simplify according to what the question wants, because the question say q. So we will make the q as a subject. So q is p squared over 4, settle, because the question mentioned h plus q. So we need to find the q first. Q is p squared over 4. Then we go to the second equation. We also do the same thing. We will write down the a, which is 2. The b is negative k. And the c is h, right? So we will use a discriminant b squared minus 4ac equal to 0, right? Okay, then we will substitute everything into the b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. So we have negative k squared, make sure you put bracket, minus 4 times 2 times h equal to 0. Then you have k squared minus 8h equal to 0. Then we will make the h as a subject. So we bring the 8h to the right. So 8h equal to k squared. So h equal to k squared over 8. And then we just take the 2 h plus q. We take the 2 answer just now, we plus, we add. So we have h, which is k squared over 8. And we have q just now, which is p squared over 4, right? Okay, so now we must simplify and make the denominator the same, so that we will get the answer. K squared plus 2p squared over 8 is the final answer for h plus q. Okay, this is what the question asking. So it seems like a bit complicated, and your algebra must be good. So you must keep on practice so that you are good. Okay, so you can do it. Okay, I'm sure if you practice every day, you will be master of the algebra one day. Okay, settle. We have solved this question. Now let's have a look for the next question. Oh wow, this question is very challenging. Diagram 3 shows part of curve y equal to 4 over x plus 3 square, and the straight line PQ y equal to h minus x. Okay, is the tangent to the curve y equal to h minus x is a tangent to the curve. This is very important concept in additional math. So when you see straight line, it's actually tangent that touch the curve. So when it is a tangent that touch a curve, so you can actually find the gradient, because the question is given you the equation, right, of straight line. So basically when they give you the straight line, you can read the gradient. So the gradient is the number in front of the x, which is -1. Okay, so you can write down m equal to -1. And the gradient of the tangent, remember, gradient of the tangent is dy dx. Okay, so you just do your dy dx. Okay, and then you equate to the -1. Then you will get the x. Alright, so how to differentiate this one? You have 4x plus 3 to the power -2. So dy dx, remember, you have to take the -2 power down first. Then you have to times with the 4, negative 2 times 4, and then x plus 3, and then negative 2 minus 1, and in fact you have to differentiate the x, which is 1. So finally your answer for the differentiation, you have to simplify. Okay, you are using this formula. dy dx is n times ax plus b, n minus 1, and then you have to times with the a. Okay, don't forget about that a. Many students tend to forget the a, but here the a is 1. A is a number in front of the x. Okay, remember this formula. Okay, this is called differentiation by substitution, or we call it chain rule. Okay, so it's very popular in SPM exam, so make sure you are aware. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and then x plus 3, and then to the power of minus 2 minus 1 will be minus 3. Okay, finally you have to write your answer like this: negative 8 over x plus 3 to the power of positive 3. We bring down the power, negative become positive. So once you have the dy dx, you can make it okay, into fraction like this, and then you're asking to find the point. So as I told you just now, they gave you the straight line, then you can read the gradient, and that gradient is actually gradient of the tangent to the curve. In short, is dy dx, right? So you take negative 8 over x plus 3 to the power of 3 equal to negative 1. Okay, so then you will have to solve it to find your x value. Okay, let's do it together. Negative 8, you copy down your negative 8 over x plus, okay, negative 8 x plus 3 power 3 equal to negative 1. Okay, so we are going to solve this one. You see you got both sides got negative, right? So you can just cancel out the negative. Okay, then you just cross multiply x plus 3 times 1, okay, equal to 8. X plus 3 to the power of 3 equal to 8, and then you cube root. Okay, you cube root will be x plus 3 equal to 2, right? And then you will get the x plus 3 cube root. Okay, step by step you do it. Cube root, not square root, cube root. So cube root of 8 you will get 2. So then x plus 3 equal to 2. Then x is 2 minus 3. So the answer for x is negative 1. So after you got the x, you can find your y. Alright, you can substitute into the curve to find the y. So I'm getting x, which is negative 1, and the y can be found using negative 1 plus h, or you can use a curve. You can find the y value using the curve. Okay, so now the question didn't ask for the point, they asked a value of k. So k is negative 1, which is the coordinate x, right? Okay, given that the rate of change of the y coordinates of p decrease at 16, find the rate of change of the x coordinates of point p. Alright, for this question, many students will say they cannot do. So just to highlight to you, when you see rate of change, you will write rate is dt. Change means different, okay? Different of what? Y coordinate. So you have to convert. When you see rate, you over dt, okay? When you say change of y coordinate, you write dy because the y value will change. So there is a difference of y. So you write dy dt. And then for p, decrease or increase also show changes, right? So you will write dy dt equal to negative 16. Okay, because the value decrease. Okay, p decrease at the value 16 unit per second. So find the rate of change of x coordinates. So you see, when you do this question, it's simple. You see rate of change, it means that you have to over the time, over with the difference of time. And x coordinates of point p, change of x coordinate of p. So that means you have to find the difference of the x. So you write dx dt. So from the sentence, you convert to the dx dt. So this thing they ask you to find, you don't know, it's unknown. So as I told you, when you want to do this question, you always list down dy dx, you list out dy dt, right? Dy dx was given just now, is equivalent to the gradient of the tangent to the curve. And you have dy dx just now. You also have the dy dt from the question, right? Just now you read the question, you convert to dy dt. Remember, dy dt is negative 16, right? Okay, so you should have 3 terms of d something. So you should have dy dx, you should have dy dt, and you are going to find dx dt, right? The one that you want to find, dx dt, you do like that. dx dt is equal to dx, and dt you copy down like this, up and up, down and down. Dx is on top, dt is below. You split into 2. And then because you have only x and y and t change, so you should plug in the dy there. Okay, just follow this way, sure you can do. Okay, then you just substitute all the value that you got just now. If the sign is or inverse, so you also inverse the value. So you have dy dx just now, which is negative 1, right? So if you inverse a negative 1, it becomes dx dy 1 over negative 1. So you have to inverse. Okay? So 1 over dy dx is dx over dy. So you can say dx dy is 1 over negative 1. Right? So it's the same because it's negative 1. Times the dy dt, just now you got ready, right? Negative 16, right? So you just multiply lah, negative 1 times negative 16. Okay, just now we have the dy dt negative 16, right? Okay, so we substitute into the dx dt. So negative 1 times negative 16. So your dx dt is given by negative 1 times negative 16. So you get positive 16. Okay, that is how you do the rate of change. So every time when you do rate of change, you read the question carefully and you convert to a d something, and then you do the same like what I teach you. Okay, now we go to question number 4. This question also very challenging. Given that the function fx equal to p qx plus 1 to the power of r, right? And the gradient of the tangent, when you see gradient of the tangent or gradient of the function, that is actually your dy dx. Alright, so dy dx is actually also can be written as f prime x. So gradient of the function fx, okay, when you see gradient of function, it means dy dx. It also means f prime x. Okay, the same story. So that means you are given dy dx. So once a dy dx is given, you can integrate your dy dx. Okay, so if you integrate, this is the f prime x according to the question. So that means you are going to integrate 24 qx plus 1 square and then equal to 4qx plus 1 as given by the question. Okay, so you're going to integrate this one. Integrate your f prime x, alright, is equal to 4 times qx plus 1 to the power of r. So you don't see the answer given first. You do first. After you got the answer, then you come back to the 4qx plus 1r. Then you do comparison and do reference. Alright. So now we need to integrate the function. Okay. So we are going to integrate the dy dx, which is 24. Then qx plus 1 power 2 dx. So still remember, this is also integration by substitution. So we raise up the power 24qx plus 1 to the power of negative 2. Okay, then we integrate. So when we integrate, the power will raise up by 1. It becomes 24qx plus 1 to the power of negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And then over the q, don't forget you have to over the q. Okay, when you integrate, the power will be plus 1 negative 2 plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1, and you have to divide by q. Don't forget, this is the part that people always forget. So you are getting negative 24 over q, and then you can write in terms of the fraction qx plus 1 to the power of 1 as the denominator. Now then you can do comparison with the answer given, because the question says if you integrate the dy dx, you will get 4 bracket qx plus 1, right, to the power of r. So now after you do, then you just compare. So the answer given 4, okay, should be equal to negative 24 over q. So now we do comparison. So 4 equal to negative 24 over q. So that means 4q equal to negative 24. Then hence you can solve the q. So q, it should be negative 6 and r should be negative 1, alright, and not 1, because when you raise up, the power should be negative 1. Remember, the pattern for the left side and right side must be equal before you can do comparison. Okay, so the r should be negative 1. So again, I show you 4 is equal to negative 24 over q. So then 4q equal to negative 24, right? Then the q equal to negative 24 over 4. So the q is equal to negative 6. Alright, that's how you solve the question involving differentiation, which is a bit challenging to you, right? Okay, now we will go to next question, which is much more challenging, which is integration. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. So all the questions here are very challenging and hot. For this question, diagram 2 shows the nose cone of a rocket in parabolic shape. So you're given the shape y equal to ax squared plus 5. Okay, when you see this question, you will say you don't know how to do, because you see the diagram, it looks very scary. So I just want to tell you, you don't have to worry. You just draw the graph like this. So you will have y-axis, you have x-axis. It's a 3-dimension, so we convert to 2-dimension. It's actually the quadratic function, right? It's a curve, right? So you just convert back to our max quadratic function. Okay, I'm sure the a later you get will be negative, right? Okay, you're given the base diameter is 3 meter. That's very important keywords. Base diameter is 3 meter. So I divide into 2 will be 1.5 to the right and 1.5 to the left. So now the curve is given y equal to ax squared plus 5. And you have 1.5 and 0. You have the point. So you just substitute the point into the graph y equal to ax squared plus 5. So let's substitute y is 0. And then when you see a, you are not sure, but x is 1.5 square, right, plus 5. So you can solve your a, right? So your a can be solved because you just simplify. 1.5 is 3 over 2. Square will be 9 over 4. A equal to negative 5. Yes, the a is negative. You are doing the right thing. So if you times with 4 and negative 5, it will be negative 20. So the a is negative 20 over 9. Alright, so the a is a coefficient of the x squared is negative. That's why you are having the n shape. So isn't it easy, not difficult for a hot question? Right, not so difficult. As you see, you just apply back the concept that you learned in quadratic function. Now I'm drawing the curve. Now we need to find the volume for the shaded region in blue color, right? So if I want to find the volume, I have to have the area first. And you see the boundary is y-axis. So then you have to integrate with respect to y. So the volume of the nose cone can be obtained if you integrate the curve. We remember there is a pi dy and x squared, right? Because the axis is at the y-axis is the boundary for the area, and we are going to rotate about the y-axis. Now we need to express the function to make sure we have the x squared as a subject. Limit, you must follow the y-axis. If the y-intercept is 5, so the limit is from 0 to 5. Okay, so are you following well? So now from the equation given, y equal to negative 20 over 9x squared plus 5, you have to express x squared in terms of y before you can integrate. So now integrate pi from 0 to 5. Now let me write the equation first, because I need to make sure x squared in terms of the y. So I cannot do first, because I cannot substitute the y directly. I have to modify the equation so that I will see the function with the x squared as a subject. So 20 over 9x squared is equal to 5 minus y. You shift the 20 over 9 to the left, so it looks like it is okay. Now let me simplify. I'm getting 5 minus y and then 9 over 20 in front. Yes, 9 over 20 times 5 minus y, right? Now let's integrate carefully. Integrate 0 to 5, 9 over 20, 5 minus y dy. So then we will get pi. Okay, 9 over 20. We are integrate the function. So you have to make sure you integrate carefully. So 9 over 20 you can put outside if you want, or you can put inside, is okay. 9 over 20. When you integrate the 5, you get 5y. Integrate y, you get y squared over 2. Alright, so then you substitute the limit from 0 to 5, and then we will substitute the upper limit first, which is 5 times 5. Okay, and then minus the 9 over 20, you can factorize out. Okay, will be 25 minus 25 over 2. And then you simplify the answer. 9 over 20 times 25 minus 25 over 2 will be 25 over 2. So finally, your answer will be, okay, you can press your calculator to get the answer, but I think I will work out without the calculator. I will simplify, divide by 5, 5, 25, 5, 4. Okay, so I will get 45 over 8 pi. That is the final answer for the volume. So these two questions are very challenging. One is differentiation and the other one is integration. And both questions are very good because it actually tests you the concept of differentiation and integration. So you need to make sure you really understand. Example like volume bounded by y-axis, you have to make sure you use the x squared to integrate. So you have to change until you get the x squared as a subject. So it will be 20 over 9x squared, you bring to the left, and then you express your x squared in terms of y. So I highlighted this one again because the students are very weak when come to volume bounded by y-axis. Okay, so I think I will stop here for the class for today. Till then, I will see you in my next video teaching for more discussion of the trial exam question. Bye bye and have a nice day.